It's better. Let's get into our update today with Typhoon Chanthu, locally known as Kiko, in the Philippines. And storm system still fairly potent, but one thing I do want to note, we're starting to see a little bit of shear on the northwestern periphery, so it's no longer a super typhoon, but I mean, still dangerous. A valiant one at the very least. Winds sustained in the center of circulation, now at about 240 kilometers per hour. Pressure down to 935 hectopascals. I know it's getting dangerously close here to northeastern Luzon, but one thing I do want to show you is kind of the microwave imagery from this storm system, and you can get an idea of what I'm talking about here. So this is peering through the cloud tops, and you can kind of see that low-level circulation. But the one thing I want to note here is look at the latitude off here towards the side of the screen. Watch how the numbers are starting to go down. That is indicating to us we're starting to see that northward churn. All the models indicate that we're going to look at the northward churn and overall background flow. Now, you know, I like to look at the models. Everybody likes to look at models, but when you try to forecast, you want to look more than just what the ECMWF and GFS are showing. And this is one reason why, you know, meteorologists have degrees and we study this stuff. So you can see we have our storm system there towards the west, but the overall flow wrapping around this kind of upper level high towards the west of it, it's going to help scoot it up and hopefully keep that core of those damaging winds offshore of northeastern areas of Cagayan. But I mean, it doesn't keep you out of the woods, to say the least. So let's actually take a look at the ECMWF forecast here as our storm system skirts off here as we go ahead through Thursday night and into Friday, moving right along here. Now there is, you know, Santa Ana, we got a party rate in here, Cagayan down towards Isabela, Aurora, and that moisture flow starting to wrap in around it. Let's go back just really quick. And that moisture flow wrapping in around it. So we're going to start to see, you know, those local impacts. Might even see a little bit of a surge come up the Cagayan River and Apari. But also, look at the inflow on the western periphery of it. So even if you're out towards Manila, definitely going to see increase in showers here on our Friday through Saturday as that inflow scoots on through with our storm system as it heads off towards the north. And that's what this graphic was right here, kind of showing you what I'm talking about with our storm system towards the north and that inflow coming in from the west. A few people have asked in my last videos, and I appreciate questions, so please go ahead and shoot them my way. But this is what I was talking about with that inflow. That is the habagat, or that enhanced southwest monsoon. You call it different things. I sometimes call it inflow. It also is just that enhanced southwest monsoonal moisture coming in behind our storm system. So here's a look at the official track from the Japan Meteorological Agency. I use JMA quite often. JTWC I refer to as well. I like to use Pagasa, but it doesn't ingest well into my weather system here, which, by the way, thank you very much on Patreon, has been helping me out paying for this thing because it's not cheap. But anyways, all right, here we go. Look at the winds, 185, 195, pressure at 935 hectopascals, skirting just towards the north and east of Luzon, but keep an eye out still on the cone of air, obviously, as we always do, and then eventually skirting off there just along the east coast of Taiwan. But boy, it's going to be a big rainmaker out there into Taiwan, and eventually moving past Miyako-jima towards the west of Okinawa Honto. Now, if you're out here in Okinawa, I know we got a lot of people that watch from there, still got inflow coming in behind that too, so plenty of rainfall as we go ahead through Sunday and into Monday as this skirts off there towards the north. And actually, let's take a look at that hour-by-hour forecast. It's moving out here towards Taiwan, slamming right into the east coast. I would not be surprised if the coastal highway here gets shut down. I've chased storms out here where, especially, you know, south and east of Taipei, you got a big national park there. And, yeah, that road always gets closed whenever you have storm systems come on shore. So, I mean, the moisture just hits that. I know my last video I said 2,000 meter high mountains. Actually, some of them get up to 3,000. I know a few of you corrected me on that. Thank you. Always appreciate it. And that's just going to punch right into it, squeeze out that moisture. And also in the Ishigaki, I mean, Ishigaki right there into the southern Japanese islands, they're used to storms. They're like the Batanes Islands down here towards the south. They get winds over 200 kilometers per hour. It's like a breezy day for them, but, you know, still problems, I mean, to say the least. And then you got that moisture coming around. There's Naha right there. And eventually moving off towards the north, and our friends into Shanghai for sure going to feel the influence from it. And then eventually, maybe even the southern areas of Korea. Now, this is interesting with the ECMWF model, and I'm not going to write it off just yet, but it kind of buffers with the high pressure towards the north, and it starts to sit here north of Naha. That's interesting. Now, it's not till next Wednesday, but, you know, I'm going to keep an eye on that because I think that's that could be problematic if the ECMWF comes through. There's questions, and I think in my next update, I'm going to try to answer those questions a little bit more. For now, though, I think our main question is how this will influence the weather out here into northeastern Luzon, the inflow coming in behind it, all that rainfall, and of course the flood threat into Taiwan. If you're out here, especially in the Taipei as well, Taipei probably going to see some flooding with this, I mean, to say the very least. Not to mention, you know, we're talking about waves out here, which could, of course, cross the Batanes Islands, get kicked up to over 6 meters high. My goodness. But also long period swells across Miyako, and if you're a surfer, the southern coast of Okinawa is going to be dangerous rip currents, to say the least. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But Taipei, obviously, Sunday, it's going to be a hot mess. All right, guys? All right. Anyways, that's all for today. If you guys got any questions or anything like that, please let me know down in the comment box below. I really always appreciate your feedback. Not to mention, I appreciate everybody on Patreon. I'll put a link down below. I say this every time, and I really do mean it. You guys are my heroes, and I try to show you all on these updates your names at the very least. I'm trying not to make the updates too long, but, you know, it's I think it's useful to kind of recognize you guys that are helping me out with making these videos. Just going through a couple of the different slides I have been also using. I didn't get into today's video update, including the track from JTWC. Just one more look at it. There it is, off there towards the north. I thought that would be something useful to kind of wrap it up today. If you guys have any questions, though, let me know. Stay safe out there.